The Rat Dungeon. Deep beneath the imposing walls of the London Tower, a hidden horror awaited. The Rat Dungeon, as it was ominously called, wasn't just any cell. It was a place designed to exploit the primal fear of darkness and swarming creatures. Carved into the very foundation of the town, the dungeon lay precariously close to the river. When the tide rose, the churning water wouldn't just lap at the cold stone walls, it would force its way into a series of grates, flooding the already cramped space. But the rising water brought with it something far more terrifying than a simple tide. The grates served as an unwelcome invitation for a ravenous tide of rats. These creatures, accustomed to the filth and debris of the river, found themselves thrust into a dark, damp prison cell. Panicked and hungry, they would scurry across the uneven floor, their tiny claws clicking and scraping against the stone. The prisoners, chained and helpless in the blackness, could only listen. The soft scrabbling would rise to a horrifying crescendo, a sound that spoke of hunger and desperation. In the absence of light, their imaginations would paint a terrifying picture. They'd imagine the rats swarming over their feet, their bodies, and their very faces. The mental torment was perhaps worse than any physical injury, a slow, agonizing torture that could break even the strongest will. Gunga. A tremor ran through the packed earth arena, a low rumble that sent shivers down the spines of the spectators. In the center stood a colossal Asian elephant, its wrinkled hide reflecting the harsh sunlight. This wasn't a majestic beast for royal processions. It was a living instrument of execution, a grim reminder of the brutal practice known as Gunga. Crushing by elephant, a method prevalent in South and Southeast Asia for centuries, particularly in India, was a horrifying spectacle designed to instill fear and public humiliation. Unlike the swift executioner's blade, Gunga offered a slow and agonizing demise. The condemned, stripped of any dignity, was often tied or chained to the ground, mere inches from the elephant's massive feet. These elephants, specially trained for this gruesome task, were prodded by their mahouts, wielding iron hooks and sharp commands. The beast, conditioned to obey, would then slowly raise its colossal foot, aiming for the unfortunate soul trapped beneath. With a sickening thud, the foot would come crashing down, crushing bones and pulverizing flesh in a single brutal impact. But for some, this wasn't a quick demise. In a display of sadistic control, the mahouts might order the elephant to inflict a more prolonged torture. The powerful legs might be used to crush limbs one by one, or the body might be tossed and trampled before the final merciful blow. The screams of the victim, a horrifying mixture of pain and terror, would be drowned out by the cheers of the bloodthirsty crowd, eager for a gruesome spectacle. Gunga wasn't just about physical punishment, it was a public display of power. The sheer size and strength of the elephant served as a metaphor for the absolute authority of the ruler, a chilling reminder that life itself could be snuffed out with a simple command. While the practice thankfully declined in the 19th century, its legacy remains a dark stain on history. The image of a human being crushed beneath the foot of a giant beast serves as a horrifying reminder of the depths of human cruelty.